The Newsfeed PM. Charter flights carrying more Palestinian refugees from the Gaza Strip won't land in South Africa. According to Rapport, South African authorities have refused access to airspace following request from United Arab Emirates charter companies. Joining us is Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, founder of Gift of the Givers. Dr. Sooliman, good to have you once again this afternoon, and thank you for your time. At least we do know that you've got a line straight through to Durko from experience. The first flight, you might not have known about it, which was carrying 176, but we know when the 153 came, you immediately picked up a phone and you spoke to Durko about that particular flight. Now, have there since been more communication with Durko? Are you aware of more flights that would have been heading this way? And what do you know about the decision to close the airspace to those flights?
Hello, Tabo. How are you? Yes, I didn't know about the first flight. That's absolutely correct. I came to know about the second flight through family members of the first flight that had met by chance Pastor Nigel Branken. He found the first passengers completely by chance. Some in the community alerted him to them. And then he tried to find the people, and each one tried to direct where the other ones were. I don't think they found everyone, because some people had left the country, had gone to other countries for which they had visas. But from that people that he found, the group he found, somebody from there said at some point that they came on the 28th of October. The second flight, the one that we came to know about 12 hours before it happened, was on the 12th of November. It landed on the 13th of November. And a lady said, my pregnant daughter is on that flight. But she did say, I don't know if that flight has come to South Africa. Like, we didn't know we were coming to South Africa. That flight could be going to Indonesia, to Malaysia, which we were told. Nobody told us where we were going to, so we're not sure she's coming. But just to be fit, in the event it is going to happen, I then called Durko and said, do you know that a flight may come to South Africa? We hear from people we found that this flight is coming to South Africa. And then we said, how is this happening? How are flights landing in South Africa? What are our government knowing without, civil aviation knowing? How is this possible? And then I took the discussion a step further, and I said, please, we need to stop this. We cannot open our borders and our airspace to bring plane loads of Palestinian refugees into South Africa. We're aiding Israel in its process of ethnic cleansing, because after the bombing, after the starvation, after the killing of healthcare workers, after killing medical personnel, after making sure there's no medical guys to take care of people and let them die from their wounds, This is the next stage. Get rid of the people, force them out, bomb them out, get them out, do whatever they want. And I said, if we do this, we are then supporting the process of ethnic cleansing and forced migration. We got to set the standard where we close the airspace, and hopefully if these planes are going to other countries in other parts of the world, they will do the same thing. And then people will realize, Israel will realize, they cannot move those Gaza people anywhere. Rather the opposite. We want the borders to be opened, so all those that were out before 7 October and those who left after 7 October can all come back to their homes where they rightfully belong.
So to understand you clearly, you're saying after the two flights, one you did not know about, but at least the one you knew about, you have now concluded that this is an Arabic company called Al-Maj that is participating in this with the Israeli government to literally cleanse people out of Gaza.
Well, I haven't concluded that. This is an independent investigation done by an Israeli newspaper, by the way, by Haaretz. The investigation was done by Haaretz and subsequently by Al Jazeera and by other media companies, and all came up with the same conclusion, that even though this organization said it was formed many years ago, they only found proof of its existence in 2025. The other information they gave is that all the people's faces on that website seem to be AI generated. They didn't seem to be live people or real people. And the modus operandi was the same. And that information you get from the Palestinians who came on the flights. They said there was an advert on Facebook. They applied to the advert. You have to pay between $1,500 to $2,000 each to get out. They promised you a country that's Palestinian friendly. You will start a new life. You'll have accommodation for 4 months. You'll have food. You'll be well looked after. You'll be taken care of. And after 4 months, you find your own way. But it'll be a much better life. And everybody bought that. You'll be moved from Gaza through into Israel, to Israeli roads, to Ramon International Airport. From there, you fly to another country. But they didn't tell them which country. They didn't know where you're flying to. And when they got out to the border, They were not allowed to take any of their clothes. They were not allowed to take any of their baggage. They were not given an exit stamp. People are trying to defend that, to say Israel does not put exit stamps on passports. Well and good. But if Palestinians leave without an exit stamp, they can't return to their country. This is permanent exit. They can never come back again. And also those countries that don't understand that Israel doesn't put an exit stamp, then means they have more grief in that country, like what happened to them, to what happened to the second lot that came to South Africa.
What has happened to that second lot that came to South Africa? I mean, you took responsibility for them. Are they all still here?
Yeah. Not all. They are here. Even from the first lot, those that we found, I don't know where the others were. I didn't look for them. The pastor and a group of social workers found them. But from there, quite a few left. I think there's only 85 left from the first lot of 176, unless we haven't found everybody, I don't know. And, they went away to other countries where their families were. They had visas. The second lot that we knew about, the 153, from there, there's about 118 left. Quite a few of them on the first day, about 25 to 30 of them, after they were allowed off the plane after that 13-hour ordeal, about 30 of them went onwards to other countries. Then some of them said, look, we also want to go onwards to other countries. Our families are there, but we don't have the means to go there. So we funded the flights, the tickets on commercial flights for those additional people to go to those countries. The balance that are behind now, about 118 of them, and more of them will leave. They are then housed in private accommodation in South Africa. Food was provided, clothing was provided, hygiene packs was provided. A full medical examination was done for all the people. Some needed medical care. One is in hospital right now. Somebody else needed also cancer treatment. So there's two basically in hospital. Others were all sorted out. And then we had a whole legal team. The Saturday that passed last week and the Saturday before that, the first group was the first flight people were seen last week, and the second flight people were seen the first week. A legal team sat with them, gave them all their options. They can follow a 90-day stay in South Africa, or they can move to another country, or they can decide they want to go back to Gaza if the border opens, or they can go for asylum. And everybody has got time to decide what they want to do. The first group of people, first three families, went to the RRO center on Monday to apply for asylum. They had to go to another center. They had to come back on Tuesday. And then, of course, that it was not done. And now this coming Monday, they go back. So already from that group, some are applying for asylum. Some need to think about it. Some may move to other countries. And some are hoping that Gaza will reopen so they can go back to their own country.
Some say that the action of blocking the airspace is contrary to South Africa's stance in terms of its support of the cause of Palestinians.
No, that's not correct. You see, there's two things here. Palestinians are not prevented from coming to South Africa. We have to make this distinction very clearly. Palestinians have been coming to South Africa over the last several years. They can walk through the front door, come to the counter, and they get a 90-day visitor's visa to enter South Africa. South Africa is not stopping that. South Africa is not stopping any Palestinian from coming on a normal commercial flight to South Africa. They haven't stopped anybody in the last several years. But by stopping planes coming in charters, I mean, that's a different matter altogether. Where in our history have we heard of a charter plane carrying Palestinians coming out of Gaza to South Africa? In our history, it has never happened. And Israel is quite clear about it. If you look at the messages in the last 2 days, they're opening the Rapport border for Palestinians who want to leave, not those who want to come back. So this is the same process of making sure they get rid of them. And we allow those plane loads, we'll have them coming in the thousands. And exactly what we don't want is going to happen. What are we fighting for? Why did we go to the ICJ? Why did we go to the ICC? Why did we ask for a ceasefire? Why did we speak for the right to return? If we then would have to help all the Palestinians get out of Gaza and come to South Africa, it totally defeats the purpose of what we're standing for.
Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. That's founder of Gift of the Givers there, responding to the latest. South Africa closing its airspace to flights carrying Palestinians fleeing Gaza, saying, well, that's the right thing to do, he says, because this is forced removal, it's forced migration as far as they are reading matters at this point. Well, still to come.